connectivity of the parents and the children, how important do you think it is for parents to be actively exploring or pursuing creativity in order to foster that in their children?
I don't know. I've seen it both ways. I've seen, from my personal experience, parents who are totally involved and who themselves are in the arts, and then the obvious connection. Francis Ford Coppola, for example, every summer demanded that his children and his nephews and nieces had a theater camp at his house, and he would be in charge of overseeing the kids doing all the work, writing an original screenplay or a theater play, putting on the play, the costumes and everything, and then he created this environment that fostered that kind of, but then you see other people, and to some extent my own personal experience, my parents were not in the arts, but they recognized my artistic interest and would do things to foster it. Like, when I was 14, I was interested in a cartooning class that was held for kids on Saturday mornings at a local community college. So they enrolled me in that, and I went, and I actually got my first job out of that. The teacher was a elementary school teacher during the week. He taught first graders and second graders, and and at the time, I was 14, and I was doing a series of my own original characters that were driven by large, colorful pictures and minimal text. And I had, I think, like 14 books in the series, and they were books that I was making at home, just making them with typing paper and construction paper and stapling them together. But I had 14 of them, and I had a series in poster board form too that carried the characters into other adventures. And I was very proud of this, and I showed it to him, and he said, well, you know what, I teach these first graders, and we could use some young reader books that are filled with the kind of pictures you're doing. If I paid you, would you make 2 books for me? And I forget the details, but there may have been a specific outline that I had to follow. But he commissioned me $10 to make 2 books, $5 a book, and they were like 10 pages each. And you can imagine the enthusiasm. You're 14 years old, you're being offered money to do what you love to do. So, it was a huge encouragement. My mother had a shed made of wood in the backyard. I think I was about 11 or 12, and it was infested with termites, and she was going to tear it down. And I said, before you do that, could my friend and I spray paint? Just graffiti. We thought this would be so cool to get spray paint cans and spray paint something. Most kids would just go to the store down the corner, and spray paint on the walls or something. But my mom said yes, and she bought us the spray paint cans, and she said, do whatever you want to it. And so we did. My friend and I came over, and my friend thought it was the coolest thing. Your mom's letting us graffiti. That's great. And we did. We covered the whole thing with whatever we covered it with, and that was it. And then it was torn down, the next week or something. But that kind of interest, even though they themselves, my parents, weren't artists, recognizing that their son was, and giving them that kind of freedom and flexibility within the confines of maybe an environment that they control, had a huge impact for me.